Greetings, and it's another Monday, and here we are, beautiful summer Monday in San Francisco Bay Area. Greetings from Agile Learning Lab's world headquarters. And today's topic is creating your team's definition of done. So what does it mean for a product backlog item to be well and truly done, ready to be released? So there's a particular approach that I have used over the years with teams quite successfully, and I want to share it with you this morning. In the title of this post, I've also included a link to a blog post where I wrote about this a while back, so you can kind of refer to that as well. So the way we usually start is we gather the team together and any important stakeholders as well, and we say, well, when we release our product, what is the stuff that we always have to do, right? Like for any, if we've got a set of product backlog items and we're going to release them, what needs to happen? And where we're imagining we are in our exercise here is that we've done the first part of the exercise with the team. So they've listed all the things that, typically have to happen before they can release their product. And we say, okay, this is what we do today, right? We do these things today. The team says, yeah, we do those things today. So we're going to start out by saying, okay, that's our definition of done for a release, right? For the release to be done, we must have done all of these things. And then we say, okay, great. Of course, the Scrum Guide says that we really need to be releasable at least by the end of every sprint, right? We're supposed to have a releasable product increment. So if we're not currently releasing every sprint, right? Let's assume this team releases, every quarter or something like that. And then we would want to examine and say, well, what could we reasonably do every sprint, right? How much of this stuff could we pull into what Scrum calls the definition of done, right? Which is the definition of done for the product increment. And so we'll think about adding that category. So I'm going to put that up here and say, well, what could we move under, hey, it can be in our definition of done for a product increment. Even better, what could be in our definition of done for a product backlog item, right? What can we say we will do for each and every product backlog item before we call that done? And so we get the team together and we say, the goal of this exercise is to be realistic. We don't want to be aspirational yet. We want to say, well, what can we commit to right now that we're all on board with? We all say, yeah, that's reasonable. We could do that. And so let's sort through this list, imagining that we're a team that, isn't the best team ever, kind of a real world team. And we'll kind of look through the things we've got. So clean smoke tests. So smoke tests are usually a subset of the regression tests. Usually they include like all the unit tests and maybe a subset of the regression tests. And they say, well, what would it take for us to do a clean set of smoke tests? How often could we do that? And they say, well, ours aren't automated, so we have to do these manually. So could we do it for every product backlog item? Run all the smoke tests manually? No. Could we do it for a product increment, right? Could we basically do it every sprint? And the team says, well, if we really put our mind to it, yeah, we could run the smoke tests, manually do the smoke tests every sprint. Gosh, maybe we could start to automate some of those so that part could go faster and faster over time. All right, unit tests created. The team says, oh, we could do that for every product backlog item before it's done. Okay, good. Check the code into our branch. Team says, oh yeah, we can do that for every product backlog item, so that goes there. Code review, or the team says, if we pair on it, that's the same as a code review. And maybe the team really debates, could we do that for every product backlog item before we call it done, or is that going in definition of done for a product increment, right? Is it maybe like towards the end of the sprint that we're batching up a whole bunch of code reviews? Team might argue back and forth. And I always say, if you're arguing about it a lot, at this stage in the exercise, put it in the place where everybody has the greatest comfort that we could do it at least that often. Because we want these definitions of done to be real, right? We really do that stuff. SOX compliance sign-off. Team says, oh boy, it's hard to get a hold of the SOX auditor. It's a big process. That's going to stay up here, and we do it once a release. Deploy to production. Team says, oh my goodness, we could only do that, at the release. We couldn't do that more frequently. Now, of course, as a coach, I would point out that, wow, if we're using feature flagging and things like that, we could be deploying to production all the time and just not having things be live and visible to our stakeholders. But, this team's not there yet. Deployment scripts, including database rollback stuff. The team decides they could do that every sprint, right? It could be part of our product increment definition of done. And again, I'm demonstrating what a real world team might come up with. I'm not demonstrating the ideal here. Manual acceptance tests are passing. They say, well, if it's just the acceptance test for that particular product backlog item, we could have that be in the definition of done for a product backlog item. Performance test passing. Oh goodness, they say that's a big deal to get the performance team to do that. We'd really like to do it every sprint, but we really can't. So gosh, we're going to put that over here. Definition of done for a release. Deploy to staging. Well, maybe the team talks about this and says, every sprint we could probably get it up to the staging server. User docs updated. Oh boy, yeah. Maybe they put it here. PO sign off. Oh, sometimes our product owner is a little hard to get a hold of. We'd really like it to be here. Maybe the product owner says, we can make that happen. All right, so in it goes, thank goodness. Production support docs. Maybe the team says, yeah, we could get those updated every sprint. Let's see what else we got here. A few things. Getting our branch integrated into mainline. Oh goodness, we're a big company and lots of other teams, and we're not doing like cool continuous integration and deployment stuff. So integration's kind of a pain. Okay, we'll put it in our. We do it, at least by the end of the sprint. Architecture review passed. Getting attention of the architects is a little hard. We really want it over here, but honestly, we could probably only commit to doing it there. Clean branch build, we can do that for every product backlog item. Security review, that's another one. We'd like it to be over here, but honestly, it's here. And production support docs updated. The team decides they could probably do it here. Okay, great. What we've just done is created this team's definition of done for a product backlog item, right? When this team says a product backlog item is done, you can count on these always being true. We've created definition of done for the product increment, right? By the end of the sprint, what can we count on? Oh, this stuff. And then we have definition of done for a release, right? What's the stuff that's left over that we haven't already done? Well, we're going to have to do that before we release. Then the next category, next thing I do is I create one more category. I call it want but not possible. These are things that we would like to be doing every release, but we're not even doing these currently every release. So we're going to put that up here. We say, okay, team, well, what are the things that you feel like we really should be doing every release, but we're not? And the team says, well, verifying that all acceptance criteria are automated, and of course passing, and then doing full regression, clean full regression. And so they say, we really want that, but we don't even get that every release. Oh, goodness. So now that we've got this, this is our starting point. It creates openness, transparency, and visibility, what's real right now. And it gives us a starting point to figure out how can we make things better, right? Basically, you want to be migrating things this way across the wall. Things that aren't possible yet, you want to do the work to make them possible. Things that you're only doing, at release time, you want to find ways to be doing them every sprint. Things that we're only doing at the sprint level, how can we be doing that for every product backlog item? And these become improvement stories, right? I would say that being able to move an item behind me so that we're doing it more frequently allows us to release more frequently, allows the business to be more agile, allows us to deliver value faster, allows us to ensure higher quality. All of these things have value to the business, and so it would be reasonable to create product backlog items whose sole purpose is to elevate our definition of done, to help migrate one of these things closer and closer to being part of our definition of done at the product backlog increment level. I'm sorry, the product backlog item level. On the post, I'm going to include a link to the blog post about this topic, so you can refer back to that. As always, if you would like to up your game with a Certified Scrum Master, Certified Scrum Product Owner, or Advanced Certified Scrum Product Owner workshop and certification, check agilelearninglabs.com, see when our public classes are. Also happy to come out and work with you directly at your facility, right? If you've got a whole group at your company that wants training or coaching. Otherwise, have a fabulous week, and we'll see you next time.